Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So yesterday we saw a strong sell-off across all the equity indices, and it marked a larger time frame balance breakdown. And at this point, the sell side is in firm control, and on the larger time frames, the sellers can maintain control even if we get a decent bounce on the day time frame today, which is not the expectation. But even if we do get a bounce, it would not change the larger time frame bias, and the sell side can be active at pretty much every resistance area along the way. On the downside, we have pre-market support, 10 quarter to 12 quarter. That is a minor area of support. We've already seen a response there in the overnight session, and at this point, if we head down there on strong momentum, the zone may not hold. Below that, we have initial support at 2003 to 05 half, followed by an open gap at 0175, and then support at 1995.75 to 97.75. Now, given that the markets are still running on high volume, it means that we can still have some pretty decent range potential on the day. And if today we get a continuation of yesterday's selling, then the market does have potential to go down to 03 to 05 half and possibly even 95.75 to 97.75. At initial support, we still have to be a bit cautious on the long side because at this point the larger time frame bias is very bearish, and unless you're getting very good trade location and the trade makes sense in real time, it's going to be tougher for the longs to really work out. Right now, the focus is going to be more on the short side, unless we're just getting a lot of upside momentum. So right now, given the larger time frame bias, which is bearish, the focus is going to be on the short side, and we're going to be more aggressive on the short side as well. That means we're going to be aggressive on the entry, and we're going to try to get more out of the target. Whereas on long setups, we're going to be more conservative on the entry and the target. So on the downside, 03 to 05 half, we could still get a reaction over there depending on how the market actually approaches that zone and where the selling really starts before we actually go into 03, 05 half to see whether we are short-term exhausted. But if we're balancing near the lows and then break down into 03 to 05 half, then it may not really provide as much of a reaction. The 95.75 to 97.75 zone is fairly high odds for responsive buyers to step in, and same with the 89 to 92. In the event that we do get a strong continuation move, the 89 to 92 zone has potential to shut off the selling, and ES can reverse. So 89 to 92 and 95.75 to 97.75, those are fairly decent support areas, and the market can turn around off of those zones. But 03 to 05 half, it's still a decent support area, but we have to be a bit more cautious there because it's directly below the overnight range. And again, if the sell-off is starting from the lows of the overnight range, then 03 to 05 half may not hold. On the upside, we have the gap fill at 25 half, initial resistance 28 half to 30 half. That area has held twice in the overnight session. So at this point, if we head back into it, the area can still hold, but we just want to make sure that we're not going back up on very strong momentum, and even the momentum situation on the day time frame supports the sell side and a continuation lower. In the event of a breakout above 28 half to 30 half, the market can test 36 and the 38 to 39 half zone. Sellers again can be active there at this point given the larger time frame bias, and the 44.75 to 47.75 marks a larger time frame resistance zone and is pretty much an automatic sell in most scenarios if ES even gets back up there, which is not the expectation, but we just have to be prepared in case we start seeing some strong buying. But right now the short-term bias is bearish, the larger time frame bias is bearish, and the focus is going to be again more on short setups. We're going to be cautious on long setups. We've seen a pretty decent down move over the last session, and the market is a bit exhausted here, so we could get some continued balancing heading into the weekend. But again, we can balance at lower prices, so the focus will remain on the short side. Those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see if the sell side can maintain control and momentum off the open, and we'll take it from there.